Hey everybody, CVH here, and today we're going to be playing some Control Crusader on the ladder. So I played this deck a bit on stream earlier, just because I had a Crusader quest, didn't really know what to use, decided to try something a bit different from the norm. Crusader is typically a more aggressive class, but I have noticed some more late game oriented Crusaders recently, and I hadn't really given it a shot. A lot of them are focused around Unstoppable Rage, which is a pretty critical card in this list, giving strength and actual board clear when, before now it's been mostly Ice Storm or Bust for control decks, with Dawn's Wrath and Immolating Blast coming in a little bit underwhelming sometimes in certain situations, but Unstoppable Rage can be both a board clear and a really potent aggressive option, or a good healing option with Ravenous Hunger in this list for a good turn 9 clear, depending on what you're up against, of course. So this deck gets to run a lot of cool threats like Vigilant Giant that you wouldn't normally see, and a lot of really cool threats that you would normally see like Manticore and Marok, along with some new cards from the Fall of the Dark Brotherhood expansion like the Black Dragon, Gristlehide Dreg, all that good stuff. You will notice that I'm not including Odahviing. I'm just playing the list as I tested it earlier. Odahviing totally fine and reasonable in this deck. I just felt like I might not need the additional board clear and wanted to focus a little bit more on the early and mid game since we already have the 3 Unstoppable Rages for some board clears. So this deck did maintain a positive win rate for me on stream, even though it wasn't amazing. I'm interested in testing it out some more and trying to win some games, so let's queue up and see how it goes. Got a non-legend rank 1 monk. No real way of telling whether or not it's aggro or control. I mean, Pilfer Monk would be more aggressive. I will say control is way more popular though. So based on that alone, I'm going to say it's control, which means I really don't want the hunger. But if it is Pilfer Monk, I really do want the hunger because it'll force a trade with one of those 2 drops. So I think we'll just do it like this. Keep the hunger just in case. I do appreciate the irony of posting this video the day after I'm posting the mid-range Sorcerer video, which is not live as of me recording this, but will be live, because we're budgetifying a deck, making it super cheap, and then playing some games with probably one of the most expensive decks imaginable. This deck is shockingly hard to craft, by the way. Sorry for all you guys who want to net deck it but might not have the stuff. No, I don't necessarily recommend blowing a bunch of soul gems on Vigilant Giants just for this deck. We are going to save the hunger. We don't need to aggro our control opponents down. Or we shouldn't need to, rather. We also do have the premium Gristlehide Dregs in here. I crafted them midway through the stream.
There's always a plan.
Can just answer with our own Bruma. If we're lucky,
there's a plan. There's always
he'll make us do the trading, and then we can do the trading with the Cloud Rest Illusionist, which will make it even better for us. Worst case here is a 1-for-1, or he rings into his own Cloud Rest.
The Dark Brotherhood is a pox, and I shall cure it.
You won't foil my plan.
I'm not sure that I totally mind having my other Brumas milled in this matchup because 2 drops aren't necessarily what I really want against a control deck. That being said, that was a pretty aggressive 3 damage attack. Maybe he sent that there because he doesn't really know what else to do with it? Although maybe he's just being aggressive because he's a more aggressive deck than I anticipated.
You won't foil my plan.
I'll just take the trade and pass, knowing that I can Cloud Rest execute the Black Dragon next turn. Knowing that he'll also probably give me another card here, which he does.
If I fall, the Hist will reclaim me.
He's getting aggressive, and I would like to put a halt to that somewhat, so I will Cloud Rest execute the Black Dragon, while also not letting his Fighters Guild recruit take down my 4-drop. He might just execute that again, or we could just wait until we have a good rage later. I don't know how long he's going to let us actually wait here. It's a pretty weak turn, all things considered. It's really interesting to try to figure out what kind of deck this really is. I'm still thinking it could very easily be Control Monk. The issue is a lot of these cards are just seen in all kinds of monks. Card pool being limited does make it so. A lot of different styles of decks within the same class will pull from the same basic pool of cards. We obviously have a fine Gristlehide Dreg execute. We have a fine Bruma Rift Thane execute, which I like a bit better, because we get the Bruma online in case it is a more aggressive deck.
There's a plan. There's always a plan.
But I do think it's worth an execute. It may be worth considering that the Gristlehide Dreg, which is kind of a hard card to play correctly, it could be worth considering to save it until we have a Skaven Pyromancer in control matchups, because both those cards are typically... Well, Skaven's hard to make good use of in this deck, and Gristlehide Dreg is bad against control because they typically just jab it or silence it, so maybe getting use out of them both at the same time would be an appropriate course of action. Alright, here we can just trade our 2-4 into the 1-2. And play Hive Defender to protect our Bruma. And we could do a bit of attacking. I have somewhat regretted it when I've gone in a bit before, when I was streaming this deck for the first time, because we do have a few creatures with Breakthrough. And accidentally destroying a rune through an attack against a control deck, it's not great a lot of the time. I think it directly led to one of the losses. Or almost did. Turns out I was just unlucky, period, but that was definitely a misplay that I made before.
The forest is my cloak.
I'm really surprised he wants to trade his Leaf Lurker with my Bruma Profiteer, because I've made it abundantly clear that I am not an aggressive deck. There's no way Vigilant Giant will live for too long. But I will play it. Because it's good value. And then I think I'll just pass. I'm feeling a jab coming. Instincts were right. I wonder, is he going to get aggressive here? No, he's not. That's weird. That's kind of weird, because it feels like he really wanted to be aggressive earlier, and now he's not feeling so aggressive. It's an interesting situation. Well, I do think we have a pretty good play, though. We can silence that to get our trade there, which I do like. I like the trade. And we can also play Gristlehide Dreg, which can then maybe draw cards off of that. Things we don't want to see next turn include Manticora, and I bet that's what he has, if he's comfortable playing the long game now. But I can't really do much about that.
The forest will not suffer your presence.
Foil my plan.
Ascot, okay. It's back to getting a little bit aggressive. Nine damage is no small amount. We could just plop down the Earthbone Spinner and get the silence going on that right now. Then he's not going to trade the Tazcat, and obviously he's going to trade Hive Defender, and that sets up very well for a Ravenous Hunger Rage combo.
The forest will not suffer your presence.
Now, if he has Manticora here, I imagine he'll save it. Not even. Not even trading. Sanctuary Pet, I got it. Picking up what he's putting down here. And I'm still liking the Hunger Rage. I think that's about the strongest play we could expect to have here. All that aggression just wound up giving me more cards. And I can spend a couple to clear a lot of the incoming pressure and heal for a bunch. Back to 29. He is going to get the trade there. Don't have a lot of control over that. But he has 4 cards total to our 7. Which means we are winning in card advantage. All of those 11 turns have led to a +3 in card advantage over our opponent. That's how control games can go. Every little bit of advantage trying to get squeezed out there. I personally am just invigorated by the thought of it. I'm also pretty invigorated by this more cool Gatekeeper trade. Talk about taking some favorables while not letting your opponent have to bait out your powerful cards like the Manticora or the Belligerent Giant.
Close ranks, let nothing through.
Playing that over there so we can then just Skaven down the 3-1. Which is a nice opportunity, and I will push a little bit here, because I think pushing is in our future. The old draw go. We have a nice little 7 damage here, which I think we'll take.
I'll kill you where you stand. I'll kill you where you
The day is
stand.
mine.
Honor and blood.
The only thing that would be truly terrible for me is Odahviing. I don't think he would have passed up that Odahviing. And truly terrible is a bit of a stretch, because at least we could kill it. We could still have the tempo. Crushing blow. I saw neutral, and I saw that it was moving. I don't know. I thought it was Odoving, guys. I really did. Would have been far from ideal. Alright, well that's a lot of stuff. That's also a pretty unfavorable trade for him. I don't really know why he's giving me that. Well, I will take it. I'll take it and I won't ask questions. Well, let's start this turn off the right way by giving our opponent a couple of cards. Maybe some prophecies, who knows? Let's have some fun, live a little bit. That's what I like to see. No, it's not. It's really not. But I mean, it's not that bad, right?
The day is mine.
Trying to split the damage relatively evenly. 5 in this lane, 4 in that lane. Better than 6 in this lane, 3 in that lane. But am I gonna play Skaven too? Because if so, I'm gonna play it in the right, so splitting it evenly would require me to put this over here. I think I probably will, because it's kind of a useless card nowadays. It's definitely not something I can play in the left.
Let nothing through. I'll kill you where you stand.
Let's heat things up.
House Carl's different. That's the different thing we've seen. Everything else is pretty standard for Control Monk. Stealing the guard. If that's his main defensive option here. I could have cleared everything in this lane, but he was playing around me having an answer for the 5/5. Ooh, that's a little better than we had previously expected.
The day is mine.
Keep the lanes split nicely so Dawn's Wrath doesn't completely bonus, for lack of a better word.
There's a plan. There's always
By
a
our
plan.
service, we honor kind.
Numa, take you.
No rage is required. But they're pretty necessary for the deck. I don't want to mislead you guys. Mulliganing with this deck is still rather hard, for me at least. Hunger just gets destroyed by Curse, but we probably need it if he has Daring Cutpurse. Spinner is just not great overall. I think early Rapid Shot against Assassin, what are we actually targeting? Probably nothing, so let's just ship it. I don't even know if Hunger is worth the keep. That's the question. But there are ample cards in this deck that we don't want to see, because they're just not playable. So I guess we keep something that is actually playable at least.
Walk on warm sands.
We do have the ring. That's good for us because our opponent's probably trying to bury us in tempo in the first few turns, and we can mitigate that for a while at least. Then we should have control in the late game. But that's a problem if he has the late game package of Atromancers and Eclipse Baroness and all that. Now, assuming that he doesn't have Firebolt or Curse, this is pretty much ideal. How lucky can we get today, guys? That's the question. Because we really don't have any other options. Okay. Well, that means this deck could be a little bit different. This isn't usually seen. Jav. Drawing 2 of them didn't bode well for that. It's worth a shot, though. Oh, no. Yeah, we need the guard here. We need the guard. Yeah, Riftane's a very flexible card as long as you mind the life totals. You can kind of manipulate them early sometimes. Protect the 4/1 Drain because sometimes he doesn't have an answer, period. Maybe he has to Lightning Bolt this turn. Then it's 5/5 against my Jav next turn. Then we could actually have the tempo.
I'll keep a lookout.
This deck is somewhat different from what I was expecting. And we do take the board entirely this turn. With the ring into Jav. Trade there, gaining the life again. Favorable trades. That's a swing turn. I hope I can cast events for this game just so I can say that's a swing turn whenever there's a swing turn. Don't have a great trade on the 4-4. Gonna have to use Cloud Rest Illusionist next turn, I think, unless I want to jab, which I definitely don't. We do have Bruma Rifthane. I like that. Don't think we're gonna start attacking and destroying runes quite yet, though. If he doesn't have options, we're not gonna give him extra options.
There's a plan. There's always a plan. I will push them
That one has Breakthrough, so he's gonna be attacking my 2-1 for free, basically, but then I can manipulate the trade with the Cloud Rest Illusionist and keep my 4-2 around. It's looking like, at least. Unless he somehow applies just a ton of pressure that I have to deal with.
They make it too easy.
Child's play.
Not a ton of pressure yet. Still feeling good about it. Identifying that the Bruma is one of the more problematic cards if left unchecked, which it really is. It's surprising how much this card can heal you for. One of the reasons I felt comfortable with not a ton of healing in this deck. You could play 3 Tribunes, more Knight of the Hours. It's actually a solid bit of healing. That hasn't been the issue. And I do want the Cloud Rest. I think I want it in the left. To make sure I can trade with whatever he plays there. We have Giants coming in the next couple turns. And this is one of the issues, right? We did attack early, we wanted the drain. But now we have a problem because we're going to be giving our opponent a card.
A little distraction might prove useful.
How big of a problem will that be? Let's find out. Turns out, not that bad. But I'm going to stop here just in case I take another favorable trade. Don't want to give him another card for free. Don't exactly know how the things are going to work out yet. Can't imagine that 2 damage in the left is going to be game-breaking. And we can imagine cards that he's about to be starting to play, if he has his way, are Eclipse Baroness into probably Supreme Atromancer. He could potentially line up a game-ending Breakthrough Rage. So if he couldn't kill the giant, but he trades into it, he has 3 health, 1 health. So it'll be 5 damage, 7 damage, which is 12 damage, plus the 8, which is 20 damage. So if I start preemptively attacking here a bit, we could just kill our opponent. Not that there has to be a whole lot of preemptively attack. I actually didn't need to do that attack if we wanted to kill him next turn with the Rage plus the attacks. That's 6 damage. But to be on the safe side. He could also just have an answer for this. He could have a Lightning Bolt. He already played one. Leaf Lurker also works. I don't think we're under too much pressure, though. This might look bad, but I don't think it's that bad. I think we don't make any other attacks. I think we Belligerent Giant back the 4-4 Ward Cut Purse, set him back a bit. He only has 8 damage, 24, feeling fine. And he needs to have Lightning Bolt. Or some combination of like Double Firebolt or Curse Leaf Lurker or something. If he plays Atro, for example, he will die to the Belligerent Giant. So that'd be 6 breakthrough, 6 breakthrough, that's 12 plus 4, so 16 breakthrough plus the attack next turn. Yeah, that would be lethal. Let's see if he has an answer to my 7-4. So one way this deck can take wins is taking control of the field lane, as Control kind of wants to do, and then forcing your opponent who's playing a more aggressive deck to be in the shadow lane, like our opponent is, and then killing them with a gigantic unstoppable Rage. I'm not even sure if this is totally worth casting. On the chance he does have Lightning Bolt, I want something in this lane. And if I get my Rage off, I win the game, so I guess there isn't really a whole lot of reason to hold it. I don't care whether I'm up or down 1 card if I have lethal. I'll be winning the game. Card advantage is irrelevant when the game is over.
I see you're in need of my wisdom.
Oh, I'm digging the way this looks. Alright, I don't even care. Unless it all rolls Ward, that would be bad. Oh god. Oh no. Oh no. Oh my god, I hate Royal Sage. Alright, he's moving the Ward over. I don't care about that one moving over, even though that is kind of annoying. How much damage is this? Damn, because we can't even, the 2 guards are blocking my attack. I think that actually blocks my lethal. We do have Skaven though, so Skaven can give us an extra 4 here. So we have the 4, the 3, that's 7, plus 7, which is 14, that's 18, because that's gonna die. Man. I have been blocked by Royal Sage, RNG. Feels pretty average, but it's 18 damage though, maybe I just go for it. It's 18 damage that also clears. I can actually just take a trade there and Skaven down that, because it does have lethal. Well, let's take the trade first then.
Behold my power.
Wait, if I Skaven first, is it lethal? 6, 7, 8, well that's 7 plus then 6, wait no, it's 7, 9 plus the 6, which is 15. Oh my god, it is lethal. Who knew? If the attack goes through.
Let's heat things up.
It does! Whoa, we figured it out! Wow. He probably thinks that I was BMing. But as it turns out, I'm just bad at math. So the Skaven not only adds 6 damage breakthrough because we pop the ward, thus letting breakthrough actually take effect on the ward crafter, but it reduces the health, critically important, of the 2 guards by 1. So the breakthrough deals 1 extra damage on each, and if he doesn't get Fighter's Guild or Shrieking Harpy or Lightning Bolt, we win the game. So there's definitely a chance there that we don't win the game, but even in the bad case of not winning the game, we have a Belligerent Giant out, or we don't, but he's at 7, so we can probably piece together lethal over a few extra turns, and he's out of a board in the shadow lane and basically out of 1 in the field lane. So things are basically okay there. But yeah, that's some games with the Control Crusader deck. Hopefully you've enjoyed. It's a really fun deck to play. Really, really difficult, as I found. Everything from the mulligan stage to navigating the matchups, I don't have a whole lot of experience with, but it's fun to learn. Not sure if it's the most powerful control deck. I definitely think like Mage and probably Monk and Ramp Scout are probably more powerful overall. But this deck can do some really unexpected things, and as you can see, it can put together a lot of damage from hand if your opponent can't really deal with one of the breakthroughs and the Ravenous Hunger Drain combos. You saw a lot of those in those games. As always, if you've enjoyed, feel free to leave a like. Feel free to subscribe to the channel for more gameplay videos, deck techs, budgetify videos, all that good stuff for Elder Scrolls Legends. Follow my stream in the description down below. I do stream this game daily, so you can catch me live there, and I'll see you guys next time.